So week 2, if you guys saw my post the other day, if we do the math, 5 contacts a day for 2 weeks, 5 days a week, that's 50 contacts. By the laws of track mathematics that have been proven by thousands of agents over a course of 6-7 years now, if you have done the job, you have planted the seeds for your next contract. What do you guys think about that? A lot of the times what I hear is that while you're day to day in track, it seems like it takes a while, but then once you lift your head up and look around, you're a week, or it's been 2 weeks, or time's flying. So you got to be consistent. Now I went and actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to hear some wins from you guys. Who's got some wins, big or small? Did you get 5 contacts in a day? Did you get a no? Did you reach out to someone you were reluctant to reach out to? Did you get a listing appointment, big or small?
I didn't get a listing appointment, but one of the people that I did contact said that they know someone that wants to sell their property, so they're going to give them my information.
Excellent. That's great.
I'm trying to build my partners, and that's what I kind of concentrated on this week because I had a lot going on. But I'm actually going to meet with, I'm in Arkansas, and I'm actually going to meet with a realtor that was referred to me here around 2 o'clock today. So
awesome. So you're building your list out.
I'm trying to build my list out. Yes, I didn't do good with contacts at all because I was concentrated on my reunion, but
okay,
that's past me now. But I'm in Arkansas this week helping my mother out. But next week I will definitely hit the ground running.
I love that.
Thank you.
One more win from you folks.
I had can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I had 1 listing appointment and 1 buyer's appointment.
Wow.
Well, the listing appointments, I wasn't able to get the contract, but it was definitely a win for me.
Yeah.
And the buyer's contract is in progress.
Nice. Well done. So what'd you learn from the listing experience?
Script practice helps.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yes.
So should they expect to see you on Monday for the following Mondays, I guess, for script practice what time? 11 a.m., Cassie?
I'm at all of them. Most of them. Missed a few, but I'm at all of the script practices.
Okay.
But I will tell you with the listing, though, they have committed to using me as their buyer rep because once they sell, they're going to buy.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
So,
yeah. All right, we got some good ones. So I need to talk to you, Roberta, because you also were one of the few that did 10 handwritten notes this week. Who are you writing to?
I'm writing to actual vendors, my sphere of influencers, and family, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah, that I hadn't talked to in a while.
How long did it take?
For me to do one, it may take 2 minutes.
Okay. Nice.
I mean, it's you just block the time out and you figure out the ones that you're going to write it to, and then you write it and it's over, and you seal it and you put it in the mail.
You move
It's
on.
that easy.
Cool. Any other wins before we move on?
I went to a Boston and media event and met one potential lease and then maybe about 10, 12 girls.
Awesome. Wow. Did you get contact information?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing. Is that getting out of your comfort zone talking to that many people, or is that easy for you?
No, I just haven't been to a convention in a minute, so it was not really a challenge. It was just actually being available.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. All right, so you guys want to take a look at the numbers? All right. So we had a couple people. Rhonda. All right. She wasn't on here earlier when I looked, so she's leading the pack this week with 28 contacts. Roberta's number 2 with 25, and Amparo, you got 24. Excellent. So those are contact winners. We got a lot more coffee and lunch dates, and I love seeing that. Whoops. Facebook, Instagram Live about 50%. But the people that did it, look at that. 4, 3, 3. Marquisha, can you talk?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you had a good week this week.
Uh, well, for my contacts, yes, I'm actually getting out of my comfort zone and going out and meeting people, And one thing that I found that's easy to help me with that is taking my daughter. When they go to talk to her, that opens the door for me to talk to them.
Perfect.
And then so as for I haven't done any Facebook Live, but I have done the Instagram story. So have been getting my marketing done and actually doing a story and sharing more.
Okay. So being that this is time management week, did you just do it on the fly? Did you time block for it? How'd you get it done?
I actually time block for it, and I'm making myself do a schedule, and I'm actually getting up extra early so I can get a lot of my marketing and stuff done.
Okay. So did you do all the videos at once, or did you do them at different times?
I did last week. I did them that morning. I time boxed and I got up for like 6 o'clock and I did my marketing and I scheduled those that the morning each morning.
And how long does it take you to get
But
through just one video?
um, it really depends on what I'm working on. Like it could take me 30 minutes. Sometimes it could take me an hour. Just seeing.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. And then Amparo already talked about it. She's got a buyer calling her, but we had some people had some action. Look at all the listing appointments this week. It's pretty good. So all in all, seems like a pretty good week. And there's been some people that added to this, but we had 3 people out of the 7 or 8 that had reported. It was like probably 9 o'clock this morning that I looked at it. 3 had more contacts, 3 had less contacts, and 1 had the same amount of contacts. So I want to hear about it. Rhonda, yours went way up from week 1 to week 2.
Because I'm still recovering from that doggone bingo. Kevin, I already have I have contacts from yesterday. So I'm debating on if I'm going to lead you in this week.
Oh, man.
I have enough contacts from yesterday. No, but I am going to lead you in this week. But I have a lot from yesterday. But I just had to get back on the ball because that's one of my problems. Once I get a few closings, then I stop and vacation for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that day I did 5 that last week. I mean the week before, and I thought, okay, let me jump back on here and get busy. And so it's been busy and it's hard. Now I have to get up earlier. So that's hard. I had to get up at 6 now to kind of get things going And I did get my calendar, since I've taken track all these times, I never set up my calendar to lead gen so I did set that up, and I'm trying to stay on track with that. But just being intentional and starting over again, saying, okay, I'm not going to rest. And believe it or not, I have 3 listings. No, we don't have those 6. And then we have 4. A guy called me last night. So I have a listing appointment with him today. He has 4 homes to sell.
Wow.
And it's like, it's crazy because so now I'm glad that time management came right now, because once we did the bingo, we tried to black out, and then we, just kept lead gen. So that is all like snowballing to me. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get it all together. And now it's going to make me use Chime more, because I'm always using, and I know Roberta's going to have a fit, I'm always using a spiral notebook.
Mhm.
So now I'm going to have to use Chime more, because I write stuff down and then put it in, so now I'm just putting it in. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I have to get up earlier now. I have to talk to people earlier. And I have my lead gen from 3 to 5 every day, but sometimes I start in the morning and do it in the morning, try to catch people. And then I want to do my phone calls from 3 to 5. So I try to do more phone calls, because I don't want to get out and talk to people. So now, after yesterday, oh my God, we went to the Hariba, and it was a golf tournament, and we talked to so many people and got so networked with so many people. So I'm really done for the week, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave you. But you just have to be intentional and say, okay, I know, and you have to write it down. Because sometimes I will forget, oh, I talked to this person at the store, I talked to this lady here, or I talked to this person here, and you forget. And so now I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to write it down, put it in my phone, and forget. She said, yeah, don't get off the gas. So yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. And it's crazy. It's crazy right now. So Eddie was out putting out signs this morning. Yeah.
The rock and roll. And so you're reaping the benefits of it too. But you had a couple wins in there. You're following a new schedule. You're getting up earlier to get your stuff together. Your pipeline's building, and it's starting to show. But I think the biggest thing I heard, my light bulb moment from what you were saying, is get your time management together now, so that when you're busy, you can handle it. It'll be more important than ever, right? So Markeisha had a question. Rhonda answered a little bit. She does a little bit in the morning. She likes 3 to 5 for her follow-up and for her conversations. But Markeisha was asking, when do you guys lead gen? So who else wants to share? Do you have certain times, or is it just vary? Is this an indication that we're not lead genning, or is it no one?
Hey, I think they're not lead genning. Oh my goodness.
I block out time, but that time doesn't necessarily mean I'm not going to lead gen around the clock, because I may go out to like a new build, and I'm able to meet people, sales reps and other people at the new models, or I may go to the grocery store, so I'm lead genning all day, but I do set out a time block that I do specifically focus on that, but it can be all throughout the day, depending on, where I'm going, what I'm doing, what event I'm going to. I can lead gen all day.
That's true. So just be intentional throughout the day.
Yeah, very intentional throughout the day. And my thing is, I always keep a stack of cards everywhere I'm going. If I go out to eat, I'm very intuitive to the surroundings. And so I see people, couples, and I'm lead genning, I'm getting my cards ready. I'm passing them out. If I see certain people in the store, if I go shopping, wherever I am, I'm lead genning. So, but I'm intentional about the time block that I put, but I'm also intentional when I go out.
Okay. Yes, you were unmuted, Rosie. Then we'll get to you next.
I was going to say, I think it also depends like what you're doing for your lead gen. So if it is something that you need to purposefully sit down, write your notes, sit down, make phone calls, then yeah, definitely time block those as to what yields the best responses. Like Rhonda said, sometimes she does it in the morning, sometimes she does it in the afternoon. I guess maybe depending on who she's calling, when's the best time to call them. So you get a feel for it too, and try different time frames depending on what you're working on too.
Yeah.
And then Rose, did you have something?
No, I was just gonna tell hello everybody. I'm headed into this meeting and I'll be right back. Hopefully it'll be over before we're out. I just wanted to let you all know that I'm headed into this meeting.
All right. It was good to see you, Rosie. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'll be right back, hopefully. Well, no, I don't hope. I hope I'll be in there long.
So yeah, Cassie, you brought up a good point. Like when are the best times to lead gen? And it depends what you're doing. Now you can look at stats, right? Tuesdays and Wednesdays are great days for follow-up and lead generation if you're calling people. Chandra, what do you have to say?
Well, I walk early in the mornings. Actually today it rained today, so I had to figure out how I was gonna get my steps in. So I went ahead and joined Planet Fitness. I have someone that's making me some more realtor tank tops, fitness stuff. So now that I went in today was the first time I went in. I'm like, oh, okay, I can make this happen. I can make some things shake up in here. All I need is my nonverbal app marketing material, which is my t-shirts. So I picked those up this weekend. I'm trying to find someone to do a visor that says realtor on it. So that's kind of just bringing it because I know when I wear my t-shirts out, I do get people just to have just random conversations. So that's my way of kind of lead generating.
Okay, I love that. So the best time to lead gen, right, is when you can do it, right? Second best lead gen time is when people are going to answer, right? Like if you're calling, like Cassie said, if you're trying to just call at 10:30 and everyone's at work and you're not getting a hold of anybody, then you probably got to find a new time to lead gen. But what are some other factors that you consider and when you're planning your sit down time for lead generation or your focused dedicated time?
Yesterday, Kevin, during my time, during lead generation, I knew like in the morning, most people are at work, as you alluded to. So I spent a lot of time sending emails. And they're more responsive to emails because most people that work, they're sitting at their computer and they're probably seeing the emails come through. So they're responding to the emails. So I really figured out that if I time block for that in the morning, that I can send more emails out than I do phone calls. So I just figure what is going to work best for lead genning, whether it's email, whether it's texting, or whether it's a phone call. And then I time block according to that, depending on which group I'm trying to lead gen to.
I think that's smart. What about your energy? Does anyone notice that like certain times a day you're more people focused, you have better energy when you're talking to people, when you're engaged? What do you think? Emparo, you were nodding your head.
I'm a morning person. I'm up by 4 a.m. And at that time, I try to do most of my admin stuff, but I also set up my emails to some follow-ups that I haven't heard back from. I'll work on emails and I'll do auto, some to go out at 8, 8:30, and 9. And so when I'm back in bed at 10 taking a nap, I know that those emails have already shot off. But I do that. I just do auto and they're all shooting off at different times. I'm afraid to set them all up for 8 because I don't know if I'm going to clog my system. So I'll do 8, 8:30, and 9.
Okay.
That's when I send out emails like that. But time management has really helped me. And I know it's only been a week, but it does make a difference. I sent out 12 notes I made a point of sending them out to past clients that I know are my good clients that have sent me referrals in the past. Those are the people that I sent out my 12 notes to. But I actually had to say, okay, from 9 to 10, I'm not doing anything else. My phone is on silent and I'm going to hand write each note and personalize it. Hey, I love the pictures of the kids. They're doing awesome on Facebook. I'm sorry I haven't connected in a while, but I plan on seeing you in October. I'll be in touch. And I already started getting some calls yesterday. Hey, I got your note. That was so sweet of you thinking of us. We look forward to seeing you in October. But going back to you, Cassie, that time management is important. It is important because I found that I could do so much more if I said, this hour is only for this. I'm ignoring the rest of the world. They'll be okay. They'll be waiting on me when I'm done after this hour. But it does help when I block time off to do certain things.
Love it.
That's great. I love that. And added to that saying that it'll still be there after that hour. Also, sometimes it resolves itself. If it's a question or I need something right now and it waits an hour, it's either going to still be waiting for you and that's okay, or it resolves itself. It's crazy. So that's so true, Amparo. Michael, did you have something you were trying to
Yeah,
say?
I was just gonna say my only lead gen is whenever I can. For example, I went to a meeting at the church last night, and I haven't actually. I thought about that. I went back and got about 50 cards, and I was able to share my cards, at the church, and that worked. And also in the morning, whenever I get gas, I always stop. I let my tank fill up, and I go around the other areas. Hey, who are you? My name is Blase Blase, and then here's my card. This is what I do. Now I tell them, please tell me if this is wrong. This is what I'm doing. I'm offering $500 for any lead that I close. Is that okay? So I figured if I can make 5,000 or 8,000, whatever, $500 is not much. If I can, but I make sure I say if I close the people that you send me, I give you $500. Or should I not use that?
So technically, no.
Oh,
The
okay.
max that you can give to anybody that's not a referral, like another agent, is $50. And it can't be cash.
Just this anybody. Yeah, this just people. Is
Just
that
people,
okay?
yes.
Okay.
Just people that send you a referral. The max is $50.
Okay.
And it cannot be a cash, it can't be cash, and it can't be a cash card like a Visa or something like that. It has to be, it's supposed to be
gift.
like a gift card to a
gift.
restaurant.
Okay.
Or something like, or an actual gift or something, but the max
Okay.
is 50.
I typically do Home Depot cards because you can't go wrong with Home Depot because I live in Home Depot. They know me in Home Depot.
All right.
Oh, also, I did a handwritten note, and it was a renter, one of my lease clients. Her lease is coming up in January, so why not start now? So I know that she likes a certain brand of alcohol. So I went to Specs and got these mini Hennessy bottles and did a handwritten note and took it to her. She was in tears. I was like, well, no, I was just over here I was just touching base with you. I didn't mean for, oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't know what she was going through that day, but I said, I know your lease is coming up, any lease is coming up. I know y'all wanted to buy last year. We did try to buy, they couldn't. And I did, if we're looking at buying now's the time to get started. If we got any credit issues, she was just in tears. I was like, this is not what I don't think this is what we were supposed to be getting, a response of just tears. So, no, you're my realtor for life. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, you have a good one.
You made her day.
She needed you that day. That's awesome, Chandra.
So who created so Rhonda created, right? You crafted your perfect week schedule. Who else? Did you guys complete the challenge? Roberta? Any revelations come from that?
I realized that I was spending a lot of time, busy time. I think for me, when I broke down, actually sit down, because I thought I was doing it before, but I really wasn't. So when I actually set aside the time to actually do my calendar, I realized how much busy time I was spending versus business time. So that was important. That was an important highlight for me to know that I was spending more time doing stuff that I thought was productive that wasn't really productive. So blocking out those times, particularly for my family, that, that I was neglecting for the last, I don't know how many months, to spend time with them and blocking that in my calendar. And it did make my life easier. I felt like I could breathe, to be honest with you.
That's awesome. So do we think it's attainable that, or do you think it's realistic that we're going to achieve this perfect calendar every week? No, probably not.
No,
Yeah. Stuff
but I'm getting better. I
Mhm.
just, I look at my calendar now. Yesterday was extremely busy, but Mondays are always busy because I'm kind of refocused, trying to gather everything that's went over, what happened over the weekend. So yesterday was a really busy day after. Um, oh my God, I hope y'all don't hear that. Um, After I get done with my walk, I come in, I get to the laptop, and I'm learning how to block the time for my whatever I'm gonna do real estate wise.
Paro.
I've been watching the videos because there are several videos, right? And I think I'm on video 4. And I think that in one of those videos, I felt bad because the first week, well, to me, I was just a failure. I had 0, 0, 0 on every question. But then in one of those videos, it said, I think it was when one of the videos, it said that 0 is also a number and it's okay. Just keep trying the next day, or the
Yeah.
next week. So
Mhm.
that made me feel better.
Yeah.
That pushes me to want to do better. Today, maybe I didn't do everything today. I didn't follow everything I was supposed to.
Mhm.
Tomorrow's another day, another challenge.
Exactly. Because you're never going to get everything done, right? As they say, but you can do the most important things. So, few other topics from the week. In your workbooks, we had an exercise to develop and come up with your top 3 core values. Who got that done? No. Roberta got it done. Good. I think these sort of things are sometimes kind of pushed aside, and it's like, oh, here we go again. We got another one of these little exercises to do, right? But if you really take the time and consider this, it gives you a lot to reflect on. Have you guys ever heard motivation is simply the alignment of your values and your actions? So if you're getting tired and you're worn out, but everything on your calendar is in line with your values or not in line with your values, it could make a difference in how you're feeling that week and what you get accomplished that week. And if you have a 0 that day on Paro, how you're going to respond to that, right? So if we're to look at your perfect calendar and your perfect week, are your top 3 values represented and present on your schedule? Roberta mentioned family. If family and relationships and that loyalty and those connections a top priority, and those aren't on your calendar for a while, is that calendar going to eventually be energy giving or energy draining if one of the most important things to you is not on there?
Definitely it was draining.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not just the actions, the headspace it takes up, right? As you're going through the day and the week and thinking about what you're doing versus what you should be doing and when can you get to it. So it can add up, right? Rhonda, were you going to say something? No, you good?
Where is the workbook? I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed to even ask.
Oh, that's okay. It's right in the course.
Okay.
I have it pulled up here.
Is it where it says my course?
So when you get into track, It'll be right in the top section. So if you go under start here, open that up, there's track workbook. So if you have like max, they look a little different. You'll have 3 bars up in the upper left. You can click on that and access this whole side, this whole index. Cool.
Excuse me, was that under all courses? I'm trying to get there because I was on the agent action plan. I didn't.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you got to get in the track course. So if you go to the main page,
Mhm.
there should be a For Agents tab, not the My Account. It's loading.
Okay.
I'll show you. So yeah, you don't want to be down here. You want to be, I have a few more tabs, but you want to be in the For Agents one.
Okay.
Cool. Everybody else got it? Good. All right, so who remembers the 20% for a real estate agent, also known as the agent job description? We got to get into this course, folks. Roberta does. Let us know, Roberta, what is it?
I don't know if I'm right, but it's prospective lead generation, lead follow-up, go on an appointments, negotiate contracts, practice, role play.
Nailed it.
Okay, I get a gift card.
Nailed it. Yeah. Absolutely. So are those things on your schedule?
Yes.
Lead gen, lead follow-up, appointments, negotiating contracts. So who took the advice from the videos and has predetermined time slots in there to try to book your appointments to help you manage your schedule a little more? You think that could be powerful? Ron, I'm going to call on you because you're the one that said you'd done it. What has that done for you? How has it helped?
Because you can easily say, when I look at my schedule while I'm talking to somebody, like with my little cousins that day, and I knew I had an appointment at 3. I mean, an opening at 3. And so when I said, hey, I knew at 11, but I didn't want to go at 11. But I said, I have an appointment for 11 and I have an appointment at 3. And he said, let's go at 3. By 4 o'clock, they were under contract. So I didn't want to wait until the weekend, which I'm glad I didn't, because the sale ended that weekend. But if you have, when I'm talking to somebody, I pull up my calendar automatically. And so I just book them right then. So I know now I don't have a designated 3 o'clock for appointments, 4 o'clock for appointments, but I look on my calendar and make sure, because I put everything on the same calendar, my doctor's appointments, my eye appointment, everything on the same calendar. And so when I look there, I can tell them I have this and this. And now I've tried to go, instead of saying next week or the weekend, because I kind of put stuff off, I'll say today or tomorrow at this time and this time. So I do a morning and an afternoon, just whichever one work. And if they say, well, no, I can't make it, then I look at the next day, but I try to go as close as possible. So, but not actually booking it on my calendar as this is the time that I will do appointments only,
Okay, so you're a little more flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great. But I think the bottom line is it gives you some control, right? And allows you, and when you can control that and put those where you want it, you're less likely to push off something else. And then if you don't have appointments, let's say you do have them there, predetermined slots every Thursday, 5 to 7, you're going to do it. If 5 to 7 comes around on Thursday and you don't have that slot filled in the appointment, you can do the work to try to make sure it's filled next week, right? Do some lead generation, do some lead follow-up. So lastly, when we look at our perfect calendars, where do your strengths show up? So does your lead gen time just say lead gen from 12 to 2? Or do you have 12 to 12:30, write 10 handwritten notes, 12:30 to 1, check chime, my smart list and chime, I don't know what they call it, but of the people I should be calling that day? Is it broken down, or does it just say lead gen?
Mine just says lead gen. That's it.
Okay. Roberta?
Mine's actually, I have to have what I'm going to do, because if I don't, I'm going to lose focus.
Okay.
So if I just put lead gen, I'm all over the place. So I have to put lead gen, 2 handwritten letters, and then I actually write down names or vendors that I'm going to be like writing my hand notes to, or who I'm going to send an email to, because then my mind will just go all over the place, and then I lose focus, and then I lose that time. So for me, I have to have it.
Yeah. You're more efficient, basically.
Right.
Okay.
So preparing ahead of time what you're actually doing during that lead gen, not starting at noon. So if you have 12 to 1 or 12 to 2 blocked off at noon, trying to figure out what you're going to do for
Right.
lead gen, that's wasting that time that you blocked for it. So if you have it blocked from 12 to 2, you need to think about it the day before or that morning and make sure you're prepared to start actual lead gen at noon, not start preparing for lead gen at noon.
Mhm.
So that's really good, Roberta. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So Rhonda, why does that work for you? Just to have lead gen?
Because now I have a designated time, and then I only write handwritten notes to the people that I either confirm their address or get their address. And then I write handwritten notes to them. I did hear somebody earlier say that they wrote handwritten notes to their past clients, and I do have their addresses. So that may be something that I'll be doing next. Just if I don't get a certain amount in that day or that week, because sometimes I talk to people, I don't want to stop at 5 per day. If I go to the grocery store, if I go somewhere else, I'll get as many as I can for the week. And so I want to get my 25. And then sometimes people call back, or I've left a voicemail, or I've sent a text. Because if they don't answer the phone, I'm sending a text. I'm leaving a voicemail and I'm sending a text. So once they call back, that's how I get the extra ones that I've had the two-way conversation with. But I don't want to stop at 5 per day, because on the last day I may have to call 40 people to get 5, or I may have to talk to a certain amount of people. And then I try to keep up with it as I go. I go, okay, say I'm going to be out all day. I'm going to make up in my mind, I'm going to give my business card to 10 people, and then we keep counting. I'm like, Eddie, okay, that was 3, that was 4. Roberta and I and Eddie and Ashley went to lunch, and Roberta gave her business cards to 2 people. We're talking to them. Then Eddie went right over there and gave his cards to the same people in the restaurant. I'm like, don't do that. Go to somebody else. So I try to keep up with giving a certain amount. That's not considered a contact if I just give you my card. So I try to give a certain amount of people my card every time I go out. And so, but just putting lead gen on there and saying, hey, this is what you're going to do. You're going to lead gen, and all the other stuff falls in place with it.
Okay.
But just having that spot there to say I'm going to do it during that time is what works for me.
Okay.
By the way, I did meet Eddie in the parking lot, and we had a conversation.
Oh, that's funny. So there are different strokes for different folks, right? Because everybody has different strengths. Everybody has a different personality type, but you have to find what works for you. However, if you do chunk that down, I think Rhonda's been at this a while. She has her methods, and I'm assuming that kind of helps. You know what it means to lead gen, right? You know what your strengths are, and you know what you're going to do. So especially maybe at first, to have that chunk down to at least the track activities, or to what you do best for lead gen, can really get you a long way. And as what Cassie was saying, so you can hit the ground running. Like right when that clock strikes 12, you can get right into the work and not just thinking about it. So if we're playing to our strengths, we want to be consistent. We want to develop the habits and the rhythms that'll get us successful. Then we got to identify what lead generation strategies are going to work for us and put them on your calendar. So I'm going to share this with you. This is in the toolkit, and you guys can check this out. This is just a nice starting point. But yes, you're playing your strengths, but you're a certain personality type, right? If you guys are familiar with the DISC personalities, there's D, I, S, C. Most of the population are S's. They're stable. They like people, smaller groups. Their relationships have deeper roots that might not go out as far and widespread like the big networkers and the influencers on social media that are more like your I style. Then you got your drivers, your direct to the point type A folks. And then the really analytical people over here that are cautious. So this is a good place for you to start though. And if you guys want to search for it in the toolkit, let me show you that real quick. So you would come up here to toolkit. And then right here, you can go to lead gen, I believe, or just type behavior. You just write that word down, behavior, and there you go, base lead gen. This could give you a good starting point to figure out, okay, what's my personality type? All right, from there, let me pick 2 options in the prospecting, 1 option in the in the marketing side, and create a plan around that. And when I have my lead gen time blocked off, I'm going to choose these things and figure out my tasks each week within these strategies to make sure I'm efficient and effective and making the most of my time. Who knows their personality type? LaDonna, you do? Amparo?
Yes,
Yeah, LaDonna. All right, what are you?
I'm a SC, and this is actually what I was going through yesterday. I guess I've been going through the wrong thing, but I was going through the toolkit, and I actually went through here and picked out the things for my SC that I was going to try to accomplish this week. And so yeah, but I'm a SC.
Okay. Did you choose a certain 1 or 2 of these that you're going to focus on?
Yes, social media group. I'm trying to build my social media, and then my core advocates. Ensuring reaching out to people, trying to generate those leads, reach out to my core advocates, and then I was trying to think, what did I circle on the other one? Volunteering. Um, Trying to get out more into the community and volunteer and meet people that way.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how would that show up on your calendar?
As far as the time that I set aside to work on it,
Yeah,
or
so when you said social media groups, do you mean like
Mhm.
getting in neighborhood groups and that sort of thing?
Well, building my social media, like building, like I've been in the process of building my Facebook page.
Okay.
And then once I build that Facebook page, getting it out to my contacts, people that I know, hopefully will support me. But getting that information out there to them.
Okay. And adding information to it and all that
Yes.
sort of stuff. Okay.
Yes.
So would you break it down more into tasks during that time, or would you just say social media, or would it be helpful to say, I'm going to create 1 post, I'm going to contact direct message 5 people and something else?
Well, I guess I should do it that way.
Yeah. Could help you have some objectives and know what you're actually getting into, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So ultimately, when we're looking at this perfect week, does our calendar, or we could even talk about our current calendar before we started building it, does our calendar reflect our goals? It's a heavy question. Who says yes? Okay, I got 4. I'll take 4. So we had some no's on there then? Not yet. What needs to change, Chandra?
I think I need to get more intentional with Probably my time management, because I'm kind of all over the place. I try to set aside time, but then I'll find myself in the afternoons. Uh, just I don't have it specific on what I need to actually work on. Like I'll work on charm, and then some will take my attention. I'm working on something else, and then some will take my attention, and I'll be working on something else. So I'm kind of all over the place.
Mm,
So I need to get more intentional as far as time slotting certain activities that I need to do.
okay. Kind of like we were saying, like the actual actions need to be maybe in like smaller chunks too on the calendar. Okay.
Right.
All right. I love that. Who else? Any changes that need to be made? Any adjustments to make it better reflect your or your goals? Michael, Markeisha, you guys didn't have your hand up that yours was in a good spot. What do you need to do this week?
I need to get my chime set up. Because when I first went into chime, I didn't I guess didn't utilize it because I didn't understand how to work it. But so I need to do that, and then not just have lead gen on my calendar. I need to break down exactly what I'm going to do as far as lead gen.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Now I'm going to bring it all the way back to week 1 because we didn't talk about this, but I think it's important and it definitely plays in to the time management and your calendar reflecting your goals. But who did their success and apology letters in the workbook? Markeisha, Roberta. What was that experience like?
Believe it or not, for me, I didn't expect it, but it was emotional for me
Okay.
because I have been going like 110%. And it tapped into my why because I basically walked away from an executive position making over 6 figures. And so as I was writing that, I got a chance to reflect on the reason and the why I decided to get into real estate. And I had to really reflect back a little bit and then, think about some of the things that, my husband and I talked about and some of the tears that I shed and the pain and the frustration and all of that that came with that. So in my reflecting, it helped me to understand my why better and to, keep moving forward, knowing that I'm not going backwards, not going back to that place. So I'm going to keep moving forward with the support of my family, but also apologizing for moments where I wanted to give up and moments where I cried and just didn't want to move, didn't want to get out of the bed, didn't want to move out of the chair. So it was very emotional for me, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets heavy, I think, for most people, right? Especially the apology portion. The success one's fun to write, but when you get in that apology letter, it can be heavy. So when you're creating this calendar, keep that in mind, right? And you might need to check back on it monthly, quarterly, whatever it is. But when you're building that calendar, this business allows you to build the life you want, right? So when we're talking about time management, it's to be efficient, not just to improve your business, but to improve your life all around. If you're wasting time, if you're not efficient, you're not hitting your goals, you're spending more time than you need to focused on the business and not enough time on the balance and living the life you want, right? So this is crucial. And so I hope, and it seems like you do take this seriously and make sure you get that perfect schedule. Know that you need to stick to as best you can, but there has to be some change, right? And there has to be some adaptation. Some people say if you erase it, replace it, but make sure you get those most important things done. And sometimes that starts with your family. So more efficient you are, better balanced your life is, more likely you are to live the life you want. And if you know what your metrics are, it makes it that much better, right? If you know it's 5 contacts, you create the plans using your strengths to get into those conversations. You're going to set yourself up. It's a foundation, right? I mean, everyone talks about it, whether in week 1, 2, or 12, right, Rhonda? Time management comes up. So this is something to focus on, but never expect to master, right? All right. So I have a little video to play for you guys before we go. Let me... You guys hear it?
These are roughly 28,835 jelly beans. I counted out 500 of them and used those to weigh the rest. In this pile, there's 1 jelly bean for each day that the average American will live. You might have more beans in your life, or maybe less, but on average, this is the time we have. Here's a single bean. It's your very first day. A special day, but kind of a rough day on everyone involved. Add 364 more and you have the first year of your life. Now, for a sense of scale, here are your first 15 years, 5,475 days, which brings us to the threshold of adulthood. And at that moment, this is the time that we have left. And this is, on average, what we will do with all that time. We will be asleep for a total of 8,477 days. If we're lucky, some of that time we'll be sleeping next to someone we love. We will be in the process of eating, drinking, or preparing food for 1,635 days. We'll be at work, hopefully doing something satisfying, for the equivalent of 3,202 of those days. 1,099 days will be spent commuting or traveling from one place to another, maybe a little bit more if you live in LA. On average, we will watch television in one form or another for a total of 2,676 days. Household activities, like chores and tending to our pets and shopping, will take another 1,576 days. And we will care for the needs and well-being of others, our friends and family, for 564 days. We'll spend 671 days bathing, grooming, and doing all other bathroom-related activities, and another 720 days will go to community activities like religious and civic duties, charities, and taking classes. After we remove all those beans, this is what remains. This is the time that we have left. Time for laughing, swimming, making art, going on hikes, text messages, reading, checking Facebook, playing softball, maybe even teaching yourself how to play the guitar. So what are you going to do with this time? How much of it do you think you've already used up? If you only had half of it, what would you do differently? What about half of that? How much time have you already spent worrying instead of doing something that you love? What if you just had one more day? What are you going to do today?
What do you think?
Well,
A little heavy too, huh? So I think that's a good way to end it. Time can only be utilized, right? Can't be managed. Make the most of it. Be efficient, not just to be successful, but to have the time that, to do the things you really want to do, right? Friends, family, adventures. Cool. Well, appreciate you guys coming. Next week is scripts and role play. So make the most of it. Show up on Monday to your weekly TD Realty script session. Partner up with each other and make sure you're getting it in a little bit each day. All right. And we do have, since this came up before, I just want to show in that same section, the start here section. Let's get out of it already. All right, well, I don't know what's going on. You'll have to take my word for it. That same first section, start here, right under the track workbook. There's a TLR script simplified booklet. that has 38 pages of script. They're short, they're concise, but they're really effective. And like anything else you learn, you have to memorize, internalize, and customize. So look forward to seeing you guys. There you go, Roberta, you got it. And I'm here for you in the interim if you need me. Cool. Have a good week, everybody.